Hello everyone, in this video let us take a look at the project templates on Jira Cloud. So when you work on Jira on Cloud, you have the option to use various templates when you create a new project. And today let us take a look at all those templates and let us try to understand the differences between all these templates. So when you log into your Jira Cloud instance, you can of course create a new project. So let us say if you click on the button called create project, you can do it after maybe you have already created some projects, or you can do it for the very first time when you have a fresh instance of Jira Cloud. So when you create a new project, you have the option to give your project a name, and just below the option to enter the name, you have the key, and the key is something that will be suggested for you. For example, if you type in something like a test project, your key will be suggested, but you can always change it if you want. The key should be unique across your Jira instance. Now, the most important thing that I want to talk about today is the template. So in Jira, especially on cloud, you have different templates that you can use to basically create a project, and the purpose of this template is to have some pre-configured configurations or customizations that are already done for you. And if you use a template, it will give you some features out of the box, and most of these features are, or I should say all of these features are something to do with the workflow or the issue types that you have in your project. So you have different templates like project management, task tracking, process control, and so on. And the name of these templates are quite suggestive. You can figure out what the purpose of these templates are. And what I have already done, I have actually created these templates so I can quickly take a look at the differences. So let us go through these templates one by one, and I'll probably open all these templates in a separate window so we can do a quick comparison. So I'll start with project management, task tracking, recruitment, procurement, process control, lead tracking, document approval, and content management. So let us take a look at these templates and understand if you need, let us say, a project management template, or if you need a task tracking template. So right now I'm looking at my project management template, and I can see here three columns: to do, in progress, and done. And these three columns are actually coming from my workflow. So if you want to see the workflow, I'll probably show you the workflow of one of the project, and this process is same for all the projects. If you have the Jira admin rights, or you have the project admin rights, you can take a look at the workflow. But if you want to do some modifications, you need to be a Jira administrator. So when you go to the project settings, you have the section here that will display some options where you can take a look at the issue types. So let us first take a look at the issue types. So the project management template or the project management type of project will have one issue type called task, and it will have one more issue type called subtask. Now, subtask is of a subtask type of issue. It is something that is a child of a standard issue type, which is in this case task. Now, when you look at these different templates, apart from the issue types, your workflows or your workflow will be different. So if you want to take a look at the workflow used in project management type of project, you can click on the diagram here, and it will display the workflow for you. So if you look at the workflow here, it will display to do, in progress, and done. So these three statuses are also reflected, or they are also displayed as three different columns on your main project page, which is in this case a board. Now let us take a look at the time, or not a time tracking, but the task tracking project. And before I do that, I just want to quickly create one issue under project management project, which is of course the name of the project that I used. So if you click on the plus sign on the left hand side, or you can press C, it will display a pop-up where you can enter the project, enter the task name, like this is my task, and the issue types that you were looking at earlier, they're also displayed here under the create issues issue type field here. And we just see task, we don't see subtask, because subtasks can't be created directly, so you need to first create a task. And you can enter due date, or you can enter a description, and then you can click on the button called create. So this is how you will create an issue, or in this case a task. Now this process will be same for all the projects, for all the different templates that we are looking at right now. So let us take a look at the task management, and if we go to the project settings, we can take a look at the issue type first. So the task management project also has task, and there is also one issue type called subtask. So that is not really different here, but I'm sure the workflow is different. So the workflow has one workflow. So we are looking at the workflow scheme, and you can have different workflows in a project, but we just have one workflow used with the issue type, which is task in this case. So we have a very simple workflow called task management workflow, and we have to do and done. That is it. And I think you would use task management type of template when you're doing simple uh, task management, like you want to do a few things and you just want to finish them. That is it. You don't really want any complication. But when you talk about project management template, there is also one status called in progress. In progress, because you may want to make sure that you're tracking the list of activities that are currently in progress. It is not really a simple to-do list. You can have a big project where you are doing something that will last for a few days, or maybe weeks, or maybe months. So project management template has this additional in progress status. So let us take a look at the next project. So the next project is recruitment, and we will quickly look at the project settings, and we'll look at the issue types. So issue types will tell us what all issue types we have. So we have an issue type called candidate, and we also have a different workflow, I'm sure, that will let us track the recruitment process. And I think this project template can be used when you are maybe trying to hire someone and you want to keep track of all the applications. So this workflow is quite different. It has different statuses, and you have different transitions. For example, initially you will have an application, then you will do a screening, then you will do interview, then you will do an interview debrief, then you will offer the discussion, and then you will accept, or maybe you will track whether the offer was accepted or not. So this is something that you can use in case you want to use Jira for keeping track of your recruitment. And in this particular case, I will probably go back to the project and let us see how it works when you actually are using this type of template for your day-to-day activity. So the first thing that I will do is I will create a new issue. So let us say you want to hire Ravi Sagar, and what you can do, you can of course enter this issue here, and you can also click on the plus sign here to have more details. Let us say you want to hire maybe Vince, and you want to maybe add more details like description, or maybe you want to assign this activity to a specific person in your HR team, and maybe you want to add a label maybe. So label is something that will help you in keeping track of the issue, along with some additional keywords that you can use here, or you can attach. For example, if you're doing this recruitment for some software development role, so you can enter something like software, or maybe you can also add additional tags like senior. So these tags will help you in tracking the issue properly. And you can also have some additional details like who is the hiring manager. So maybe this hiring manager is uh, me, Ravi Sagar, and the hiring department is, let us say, the software division of your company. So these are, I believe, simple text fields, but these fields will vary from project to project. And uh, these templates will give you the option to use Jira quickly, because these are based on some industry standards, or rather, I should say, things that are more common and relevant for similar kind of projects. And if you're doing this hiring for a specific role, like we are talking about senior software Java developer. So this can, you know, this can help you with the information that you want to track, because you can have multiple recruitments happening at the same time, and maybe you want to do a reporting. So these fields will help you. So when you create this issue, it will be of course displayed here. And while you're working on the recruitment process, while you are doing the recruitment, you can move the issue from one column to another column. And you can see here that if you try to basically move the card or this issue from one column to another column, you can only move it to screening. You cannot move it directly to interviewing, because if you look at the workflow, there is no transition from application status to interviewing status. So you have to follow the workflow, and the statuses that are, or rather the transitions that are applicable, will only be uh, applicable here, and you can only move it to the relevant status or the column when you're working with the board. So this is really useful for the user, because you don't need to worry about opening the whole issue. I mean, of course, if you click on the specific issue, you can view the details, but you don't have to come to this particular page. Of course, you can add a comment here like I am doing the interview today, and you can have maybe your notes, or you can have some additional information about what you did during the interview, and some questions, or what is the feedback. And then you can move it to maybe reject, or maybe you can then move it to interview debriefing, then you can move it to offer discussion, or you can then move it to accepted or rejected status. So this will help you in keeping track of your whole process. And the workflow that we used, that actually was defined for you when you use the template, will help you in getting started very quickly with Jira. And if you look at the other projects, the workflows will be different, and the way you create a ticket will almost be similar, but the fields might be different, and the columns that appear on the board will, of course, reflect the actual workflow that you have. So let us take a look at the procurement, and we'll first look at the project settings, and let us take a look at the issue type and the workflow. So I hope you get the idea how these project templates are different, but it is always good to know what these project templates have to offer us. So if you look at the issue type, you have one issue type called order. The workflow will also be different. Let us take a look at the workflow. So this workflow is called procurement workflow. The diagram will show us something different as compared to the recruitment and task tracking, and also the project management workflow. So it has requested, rejected, in review, approved, and purchased. So it's a typical procurement workflow, very simple, but you can always modify it if you want. So this is another aspect of Jira. When you're working with Jira, if you want, you can use the template, or you can have your own customizations, but you can also modify these templates, because when you look at the project settings for a specific project, so right now we are looking at process control. So different type of configurations, like the workflows, or I should look at the issue types first. They're using schemes, and these schemes are nothing but a copy of schemes that are coming from the template. So you can do your own modification to this particular scheme, which is right now defining what issue types will be there in your project. And the good thing about scheme is that you can have multiple projects with the same scheme. So let us say if there is a new process control project, that particular project can have the exact same configuration based on the schemes that you want. And each and every scheme, like workflow scheme or issue type scheme, or there are other type of schemes, you can reuse them separately, so you don't have to have the whole bundle together. For example, you can have the second project called process control for a different department using the same exact issue type scheme with task and subtask, but the workflow scheme can be different. So let us take a look at the process control workflow. I'm sure it is different as compared to the other workflows, which is true, but it looks more like you are trying to do some process management, and as the name suggests, it has the different statuses. It has uh, statuses like in progress, under review, approved, and done. So you can take a look at this template if you want. So we have a few more templates to look at. So the next one is lead tracking. Let us take a look at the issue types first. So the issue types that we have in this project, we just have one called lead, and the workflow. Let us take a look at the workflow. So the workflow diagram will display something like opportunity, contacted, in negotiation, won or lost. So lead tracking is something that you can use, to keep track of your sales. And as a salesman or as a sales department person who is working in a sales department, you need to keep track of different opportunities and what you're doing with those opportunities, because maybe you want to, of course, sell your product or service, but you want to keep track of what is happening, and this project template can help you. And the next template is called document approval. Let us take a look at the project settings and the issue types. So we have one issue type called document. Let us take a look at the workflow. So we have a workflow called document approval workflow. So you would use this particular project, let us say if you're doing some document management where you're trying to publish something on a website or maybe your intranet, but you just want to make sure that you follow a process. So you have something like to do, draft, in review, second review if you want to do second review, approved and done. And this is of course something that you can also do in your content management system. You have different content management systems like Drupal, or maybe in case you're using a Confluence. In Confluence, with the help of some add-ons on server, you can have some workflows to have similar workflow. So there is there is a add-on called Cumula workflow. Let us take a look at the Cumula workflow. We are going slightly off track, but we just have one more template called content management template. But I think it is always good to quickly take a look at this additional Cumula workflow. So basically, I just want to show you how we can do a similar workflow management on Confluence, because Confluence is something that people use a lot on basically their Confluence instance to keep track of different articles that they want to publish, or maybe the knowledge base articles. So if you look at the Cumula workflow, it is available on a data center and server, but there is also one more Cumula workflow Lite. Let us take a look at it. So this Cumula workflow Lite is something that you can use on cloud. So just wanted to mention very quickly in few minutes that in case you are not interested in using Jira for your document approval system, you can use Confluence as well. There is an add-on or an app. So let's take a look at the last template called content management template. And first let us take a look at the issue types. So we have something called as asset, and let us take a look at the workflow. So this workflow, I hope it is similar to the document management workflow. It is somewhat similar. We have to do draft and review, approved and published, but uh, it is up to you if you want to use any of these templates. And the main purpose of the template is to get you started very quickly. You can always customize Jira, as I mentioned before. You don't have to use a template, but in case you're new to Jira, in case you're not sure how it works, I think using these templates will give you a very good idea about what Jira can do for you and how you can use it in your company. And by the way, we are looking at Jira Core. So this is Jira Core instance of Cloud. And if you're using, let us say, Jira Service Desk or Jira software, then your templates will be different and you will have more templates apart from these ones. So this is all I wanted to share in this video, and I hope you learned something new and you found this video useful. Thank you very much.